Hello, I'm Jacqueline Bell, and this week I have been seeing so many clients that have the same problem, and this is the problem of perfectionism. Some people are aware that they have this problem with perfectionism, and sometimes people have not recognized that this is something that they actually do suffer from. Either way, perfectionism affects many people in different ways. If it is something that you recognize in yourself, then there are things that you can do about this. I have a number of excellent techniques that I use with my clients. Firstly, if you believe that you should never make mistakes, then you may be suffering from perfectionism. And when you do make a mistake, how do you feel? Are you incredibly disappointed in yourself? The pressure that you are giving yourself here is immense. You're exerting so much pressure, and this pressure may lead into anxiety, depression, and it also takes all the fun out of the things that you actually do enjoy doing. Striving for the best outcome is good. Yes, we all know that. But perfectionism means that you set your standards so high that you are always pushing and striving, and you are keeping that bar higher and higher for yourself. These standards are so high, you cannot meet them. Or you can, but only with a lot of difficulty on your part and quite a lot of mental anguish. And this makes you unhappy. It makes you stressed out. Making a mistake is often accompanied by feelings of disappointing others. So the question is, what can you do to help yourself? Well, there are a few things that you can do. But as always, they take practice and they take patience, something that people with perfection struggle with. So if you do struggle with this, remember practice and patience. These do not come easy, okay, especially for you. So step 1, instead of being overly critical of yourself, try to replace your thoughts with more realistic and helpful statements. How do you do this? Well, let's imagine that it's your best friend or a very close family member coming to you with the same problem that you currently have. What advice would you give them? What would you say to them? Usually my clients will be much more tolerant and very helpful, and they give excellent ideas for their friends and for their family members. But when it comes to themselves, well, all of a sudden that goes out the window and they don't provide the same advice. Instead, you will find you're excessively harsh with yourself. You might be unrealistic on yourself. Now, in total, I have 7 techniques that I use with my clients, which we implement and work on together. But for today, we are just going to complete the rule number 1, which is the realistic thinking part. Don't be overly harsh with yourself. Don't be self-critical. Don't give in to the negative self-talk that you display. And the best way to do that is to imagine that it's your friend or your family coming to you with exactly the same problem. Imagine what you would say to them. Imagine what advice you would give them. And then, and this is the hard part, take that advice yourself. It's difficult, I know, but you need to get into the habit of doing this. You need to practice this so that your perfectionism traits become more realistic, and they will over time. Now, I know this is not easy, but you have to keep reminding yourself that you are not perfect. No one is. Therefore, striving for 150% on everything you do all the time, it's unrealistic and stressful. Getting something finished and completed is much better than delaying it, ignoring it, and procrastinating. Getting a project finished, getting a presentation finished, these are very important. And they will help you do something and complete something over one day versus over 3 weeks. Worry will set in otherwise. Judgment on yourself will set in. So that's my number 1 technique, which many clients find very helpful. Be realistic in your expectations. If you do want to find out more, please do get in contact with me, and I'd be very happy to work with you and help you develop more realistic ways of thinking so you can avoid perfectionism.